Well, it's once again time to talk about the crime and the dumping going on in certain communities of Long Island. You know, all the criminals being put there, including troubled youth. So there's a place in Syosset called Mercy First. And this is an area where they are dumping all the problems in, basically. These five teens are related. I'm going to give Channel 12 credit. They actually did something and actually covered some important news today. They've been covering some crime lately. I'll give them credit. They covered the shooting in Hempstead, then they covered this. They still missed some stories, however. But all these crimes, as you know, that you're going to see, are mostly all in the middle of the island. So, you know, it just reflects the quality of life changes, you know. On the South Shore, you have a great quality of life. Here's Rockville Center. Not a pothole in sight. Look at that. Look at that. Smooth roads, well-kept lawns and sidewalks. But it's only for a certain demographic, right? You know, downtown Rockville Center, very busy tonight. Wednesday, very busy, even on a Wednesday evening. It was hopping. And so is Garden City, too. Garden City also hopping as well. Garden City also hopping. All right? So very busy in all of these areas that have a certain demographic in them, you know. However, again, if you go to the middle of the island, and Mineola, where there isn't a certain demographic, Garden City is an exception because a certain demographic lives there. This is what you get, just dead streets, no life. And Syosset is the same way at night, by the way. During the day, there's people, but at night, it's dead in Syosset. And that's the other problem that we have. So now, let's take a look at this story that Channel 12 had. And like I said, they did a pretty good job covering this. So we're going to play this, and you're going to see the people in the community are pretty pissed off about it, and I would be too. But sadly, Syosset is the next community to be redlined, just like Hicksville. You know, they redlined Hicksville. They're working on Jericho, and Syosset and Plainview are next.
Well, this is the story we first told you about last night on News 12. A dozen stores burglarized in Syosset. Police are now saying the slew of break-ins, all done by a group that came from a nearby facility that houses at-risk young people. News 12's crime reporter Krista McNally joining us now with that story. Krista.
That's right. We're on Convent Road, where Mercy First is located less than a mile up the road. And on Tuesday night around midnight, that's allegedly when 6 young people left that facility and made their way here. 5 of them then burglarized businesses, some of which are located in this shopping center.
This is so sad. We live in such a beautiful neighborhood. We pay taxes.
Some who live in Syosset are fed up with young people from Mercy First, allegedly committing crimes in the surrounding community.
There is no gates. There's no locks. The gates are open. The kids can walk
out.
As
no security.
Patrick Ryder tells News 12 there is a security guard at the facility that houses youths from the city, but they cannot physically restrain the kids from leaving.
Biden is dropping off these kids at midnight over here at Mercy. This is what I've been told. And these kids just
some of these kids might be here illegally, too.
16 officers had to be taken off of the beat to deal with these crimes. And those arrested were 2 16-year-olds, a 15-year-old, and 2 14-year-olds.
One of the 16-year-olds has been locked up 3 times this week. 3 times. And
3 times. You see that? And that's because of bail reform. And he gets let out every time.
Keeps getting out to commit more crime.
The police commissioner says in the past, bail would have been set, but that is no longer the case due to the laws in the state. So rather, they are efforting getting the 5 arrested removed from the facility. But that will ultimately be up to the court.
They're working with us to make sure that they're going to be removed from the program.
The 5 juveniles are all facing charges, including burglary and criminal mischief in family court.
In the end, you're going to get caught.
Mercy First released a statement on this, saying in part, "We are extremely saddened that local businesses were vandalized and stolen from, and disappointed that young people from our campus allegedly participated." The Chamber of Commerce feels that in lieu of the damage and financial strain done to the local shops, now is the time for the community to show their support.
For Mercy First, we wish them the best, and that they will hopefully learn from this and
no, they won't. They won't.
Mercy First has been a neighbor in the Syosset community for over 125 years and says they will not tolerate this behavior.
Well, we all know that would never be allowed in Massapequa or any other lily white enclave. Syosset's gotten a lot more diverse over the past 5 years. A lot of Asians and Indians moving in, And, of course, they're going to get discriminated against and have the problems dumped there. Yes, this was a home for troubled youth, and it's been there for a long time. But now they are, you can see where it is right here. Now they're starting to dump violent people in there, and also people who have crossed the border illegally. If you follow Rob Astorino, he's been talking about this, that the president is flying these kids in and then dumping them in these in places like this. Of course, they're not going to be dumped in a lily white area full of finance professionals, but they'll be dumped here in this area. And this is a facility that has no security. You can see that there's no security at all. This is it right here, right along Convent Road. And you can see it's in the middle of the woods, so you can see it's not an area where they can really control these kids that are coming out of there. And some of them, it's only a matter of time before one of them gets out and commits a really violent act against a member of the community. And this is why they need better security there in the meantime. In the long run, we've got to look at who they're putting there, because, again, but it's all part of the plan. Syosset, you're next. You're next, Syosset. You're next to be redlined to get the treatment that we've been getting in Mineola and Hicksville. You're going to have all the problems dumped there, too. It's already started, all right? It's already started. And this made a lot of TV stations, as well as it also made Daily Voice as well, which we'll look at the Daily Voice article as well. And this is just a perfect example. Cold Spring Road, Cold Spring Hole, Berry Hill Road. So this is all the downtown Syosset area, basically. All right? 16, both 8 counts of, they were arraigned. So they got both charged with 8 counts of burglary and 4 counts of felony criminal mischief. And they were released again. And they were released with an appearance ticket again. And the 16-year-old male was previously arrested on Tuesday, May 31st, and Friday, June 3rd, charged with 2 counts of burglary. So he's going to get out, and he's going to do it again, and again, and again, and it's going to escalate. These people don't belong in a home for troubled youth. They belong in jail. But don't tell that to Governor Kathy Hochul. She's just sitting by drinking her wine while we're dealing with all the problems, Sorry, I had to get a glass of water. But let's go to the next one. Man wanted for stabbing at Holbrook Bar. Again, middle of the island. This is something the Channel 12 did not cover. If you've seen this man, police on Long Island want to hear from you. He's accused of stabbing a man during an altercation at JDC Tailgaters Sports Bar in Holbrook on Saturday, May 28th. Investigators said the 4 men got into a fight just before 1 a.m. One man pulled a knife and stabbed the victim. He then took off in an unidentified sedan with 1 other man involved in the fight. The victim drove himself to a hospital and was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Surveillance footage released by police showed the suspect wearing all dark clothing and a yellow baseball cap. So, again, middle of the island. Middle of the island right there, right? Let's go to the next one. Man charged in sting of gunpoint robberies. So this guy right here, Channel 12 covered this very briefly. A 40-year-old man is facing charge for a string of robberies on Long Island, and he's from Freeport, which is, on the South Shore, but it's not an enclave, and it's not Lily White, and that's why it's not an enclave. So if it's not Lily White, you're going to have people like this living in your community dumped there. Juan Hidalgo of Freeport was arrested at 1:15 p.m. on Tuesday, June 7th, at his home. He was arrested for these robberies at Seasons Express convenience store in Cedarhurst, BP gas station in Lynbrook, BP gas station in Oceanside. NCPD said Hidalgo entered each business and approached an employee while displaying a handgun. He demanded cash, cigarettes, and lottery tickets. Each employee complied with his command until Hidalgo ran away from each scene with the proceeds. NCPD said no injuries were reported during the incident. Hidalgo is charged with 2 counts of first-degree robbery and 1 count of first-degree attempted robbery. And he was arraigned today, and we don't know if he was let out or not. We do not know if he was let out or not. And we got more stuff here that Channel 12 covered. We got to actually look for it because they buried this one. And they didn't do such a great job covering it, but there seemed to be the only outlet that covered it. At least they had it on the on the TV. Here we go. Middle of the island, folks. Wrong way driver charged DWI after stealing beer from gas station. So they only give us 21 seconds. I'm not going to even play it. This is the guy right here. You see him? Yup. This is a fine example of what we have dumped in the middle of the island. How about we put him in Massapequa? You can enjoy that, huh? Even better, I think he should move right next door to the governor, Kathy Hochul, since she loves criminals so much. Police say a man has been arrested for DWI after he drove the wrong way in traffic and then stole beer from a Smithtown gas station early this morning. According to police, Lance Broussard was driving a 2020 Hyundai Elantra westbound in the eastbound lanes of Vets Highway. Broussard then stopped at Speedway, located at 522 Smithtown Bypass, where he stole 2 cases of beer at approximately 2:30 a.m. Officers apprehended him in the parking lot after he left the store, and he's charged DWI and petite larceny. And he's probably back out on the streets again. Doesn't say, but he probably is. He probably is. Daily Voice does not have this information. We do have an additional crime here that Channel 12 did not report. Trio nabbed after handgun stolen from Riverhead store. So you see, for the one crime that happened on the South Shore, you have like 4 or 5 in the middle of the island. 3 Long Island men have been arrested for allegedly stealing 2 handguns, ammunition, and other goods from a firearms store. The incident took place in Riverhead at 1:50 p.m. Monday, June 6th, at NY Firearms Development, located at 680 Elton Street. Police responded to the store on a report of a burglary in which 2 handguns were stolen, as well as firearm ammunition, apparel, bags, and gun accessories. An extensive investigation was conducted, which resulted in the arrest of 3 people as well as the recovery of stolen property. The following persons were arrested and charged with the listed charges from the investigation: Timothy J. Stark, age 28, of Riverhead, 3 counts of burglary, criminal possession of weapon, criminal possession of stolen property. Michael B. Quinn, age 35, Riverhead, 2 counts of burglary, 2 counts of criminal possession of weapon, criminal sale of firearm, criminal possession of stolen property. And Aaron Vasquez, age 28, of Riverhead, was charged with 2 counts of burglary, or processed on the listed charges and held for arraignment. So they may not have been released. We'll see. Hopefully, maybe they weren't released, but don't get your hopes up. You know, can't get your hopes up in this state. That's for sure. We can't. And we have a missing girl from Hempstead as well, which Channel 12 did not report on. This is a 14-year-old girl, Brianna Williamson of Hempstead, was reported missing to the Nassau County Police 8:30 p.m. on Tuesday, June 7th. According to detectives, Brianna was last seen in the vicinity of Hempstead High School, located at 301 North Franklin Street. She's being described as black, 5'9", 130 pounds, with brown hair and eyes. She was last seen wearing black-colored pants, a blue-colored polo-style shirt, and white-colored shoes. Her destination is unknown. So this is her picture here, and hopefully she can be found safe and sound. But yeah, it's still a decent amount of crime going on. But Channel 12 has been stepping up their coverage. We'll give them credit for it. And I think I already covered these. I think I already covered this with the gas station robbed at Getman Valley Stream on the last update. I'm pretty sure I did. For some reason they have it updated. But let's see if there are any more involved here. I think I read all those already. We have 4 store clerks being sold nicotine to minors. These are the places, and these places are. I'm surprised that there's a hookah place in West Main Street in Sayville. That's kind of surprising. There's a pop smoke shop located at 1709 Montauk Highway in Bellport. Conoco gas station in 112 Patchogue. Elmont. Somebody from Elmont working at West Sayville. These places, and of course there were field appearance tickets, so they're back out on the street again. Classic with bail reform right there. It's classic. Classic stuff. I think we already went over this one already from the last time. This is an identity of a man that was found shot in Uniondale. The victim was Corey J. Boulding, age 32, of Uniondale. But the crime does not stop. We have more. We got to go to the city now and see what's the latest is going on. Here's Mayor Adams again. He ain't doing anything about it. You can see 15-year-old girl was struck by a bullet. All right. Had that going on in the city, and still, even the city stations, they really don't want to cover. I mean, where's all the crime news? I mean, seriously, where is all the crime news, CBS? I'm going to have to go to somebody else. Let's try NBC New York. Let's see if there's some more crime news here to talk about in the city, because there's been a bunch of things. Here you go. Broad daylight. Broad daylight shooting. They don't even have a video on this. Trio gets out of vehicle, shoots man in the head in broad daylight. And this happened in the Bronx. In the Fordham Heights section. I thought there was an attack also in Queens. I mean, all the boroughs are dealing with the crime. It's just out of control. It's out of control with the crime. All right? But again, it's all part of the plan. You know, there are going to be very few. If we don't do anything about this and get this under control soon, there are going to be very few safe places left to live in New York, and you know that it's only going to be for these people. That's it. You know, that's it. Only for them. All right. The rest of us will not be able to enjoy living here. We're not going to. Our downtowns are going to look like ghettos. Now, we're not going to have to deal with that. We're going to have to deal with this. All right. You know, it's this is all the way. This is the direction New York is heading in, which is you know, all because of the governor, all because of the policies of the state going on. So that's going to wrap up this update on the crime here, but I figured I'd talk about this, especially this Mercy First thing. And actually, let me Google Rob Astorino, because he's been talking about this stuff, and he's actually been saying he's been bringing flights. He's saying that the president actually is bringing flights of illegals into the adult men on migrant kids flights. So this is he's claiming this, whether that's true or not. See, but I tend to believe it. Suburban New York meant to and the cover of night. He told reporters outside that one 20-year-old male migrant was placed into Westlake High School in Westchester County. So you have people sneaking across the border and then just being put in these places. It's now we don't have proof of this, but I mean he is providing some proof. I'm going to put this link below because it's relevant to the Mercy First thing. All right, and he's actually showing pictures here. So what is this? This is very disturbing. I mean, look, I didn't like Trump at all, but Biden has been a huge failure. I'm not going to lie. I mean, 20-year-old men. So this is all being dumped into our communities. And, of course, we all know it's all part of the plan. Because we all know that the rich are going to live in their enclaves, safe from all this stuff. And we're going to have to deal with the consequences of this stuff. So Biden is probably down with the plan, too. You know, yeah, even he's down with the plan. See, this is what's going on here, all right? This is what's going on. It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. You know, and then you have the latest thing. If we go back to CBS New York, which I'll bring up briefly. Well, yeah, we can just put Hochul homeless hotels. That's right. She, and I'm going to bring this up too in this video because she wants to put the homeless in hotels, which is not realistic at all. She's signing legislation to convert hotels into housing. This is completely unrealistic here. All right, it's just completely unrealistic. All right, can we close this stupid pop-up here? It's completely unrealistic because a hotel room is small. It doesn't have a kitchen. How is somebody supposed to live in a hotel room? You can't turn a hotel room into an apartment. All right, but it just shows how out of touch this woman is. And we're going to talk. I have to watch the debate. I haven't had a chance yet, but we're going to go over this hopefully sometime tomorrow or Friday. You know, and she's she just, you know, she's just a hypocrite. Because we all know certain demographics not going to have this. They're going to be dumped in the hotels in the middle of the island. And the hotels in the city. And some of them are going to have criminal records. Some of them are going to be dangerous. They're not going to be any checks. I mean, we're going to get into it in the next, when I do this video about the governor. Well, about the whole governor election. But again, there's Mayor Adams. He supports this. Right? So instead of getting to the root problem of the homeless, which is the substance abuse, a lot of them have substance abuse problems, instead of expanding mental health clinics so there could be mental health and substance abuse clinics in every zip code in the state, this is just another disastrous policy. So you're not solving the problems, you're just putting the problems in hotels for the poor people in those communities now that have to deal with it. All right? And we already know they're already putting them in the middle of the island. All right? For those that are down on their luck and don't have the substance abuse problems, it's one thing. But they're not going to do background checks in this. They're going to put dangerous people there. They're going to put sex offenders there. And they're coming to your community. So if you have a hotel in your community, they could be going into your community. And you're going to have a homeless shelter in your community. So this governor is once again out of touch and elitist, like I said. She doesn't care about the homeless. She's just doing this to look good. Expanding affordable housing. She doesn't do anything to do anything about housing discrimination. How about we have a law like New Jersey? 30% have all communities must have 30% affordable housing. No, she doesn't do that. She doesn't do that. No, she doesn't do that. But again, like I said, I'm going to save this when I do the video on the governor. So that's going to wrap up this video on all the crime going on. But I'll put these articles below, nonetheless, in the links, because again, this is not a solution to the problem. No longer will these rooms sit vacant, all right? But how are people supposed to live in a hotel room? There is no kitchen. It's just, and with the safety and security they need, will they be security? Will there really be security? We already saw what happened with the hotels in the city that were turned into homeless shelters. It was a disaster. This woman is destroying this state, and the only people that are going to have a good quality of life left are going to be these people and these people, while the rest of us have to deal with ghetto life or leave the state. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching.